Welcome to Plutocracy. 2 to 4 players struggle for domination of the recently founded plutocratic council. They travel from planet to planet, trade resources, make money, and buy seats in the planetary parliaments. Only the players who have majorities on the planets are going to be elected in the plutocratic council and can win the game. In this video, we are going to explain the game. In front of you, we've laid out the game according to the standard setup for 2 players. In the center of the main board you can see the Sun, and around the Sun, Earth and the planets. In the upper left corner we see the asteroid. On the borders we have the time track, and in the lower left corner the plutocratic council. Next to the main board we have laid out the planet boards. They indicate which resources can be sold and bought and at which price. On each planet we also have the parliament of that planet. Right to the main board we have the player boards where the players track their space euros and resources. Below the player boards we have Earth. We come to it later. At the start of the game the time disks of the players are stacked on field 0 of the time track. Black, Imperial, is on top and has the first turn. The black spaceship of Imperial starts on Neptune, the blue planet. In a turn, a player may sell and buy resources as well buy seats in the planetary parliament. Imperial has nothing to sell, that's why their first action is to buy resources, in this case 4 plants for each 3 space euro. We discard 12 space euro from the player board and put 4 1-unit cubes of plants on it. After that we have to increase the price of plants by 1. The last action of a turn is to travel. Imperial decides to travel to Uranus, that shines as green as the plants you can sell there. We move the black spaceship from the blue planet to the green planet. Traveling consumes time, distance plus 2. In this case this is 7 plus 2 equals 9 time units on the time track. Now it is the turn of Galactica, white. Galactica also buy resources. They buy for 9 space euros 3 oxygen. After that the price increases. Galactica still has 3 space euros left, and with that they buy 1 seat in the planetary parliament and put 1 member on Saturn. Finally, Galactica travels to the red Mars to sell oxygen. The distance is 6, so they consume 8 time units. After Galactica, it's not the turn of Imperial, but of the player who has consumed the least amount of time, that is Galactica again. This time Galactica has something to sell. 3 oxygen on Mars is a profit of 15 space euros. The price decreases by 1. Then Galactica buys for 12 space euros 4 uranium. Price increases by 1. As third action, they buy a seat in the planetary parliament for 3 space euro. And now back to Saturn, again for 8 time units. Finally, it is the turn of Imperial on Neptune. Sell 4 plants for 5 each, that makes 20 space euros in total. Buy for 15 space euros 5 carbon and 1 seat on Uranus for 3 space euros. Carbon can be sold on the orange Jupiter, which is quite distant at the moment. This is why Imperial decides to travel to the position where Jupiter will be after rotation. That means on that orange field here, for 5 time units. On the time track we see it is a turn of rotation. In a rotation, Earth and all planets will be moved by 1 position in clockwise order around Sun. We move Earth, Mars, then Jupiter, such that Imperial is now on it. Saturn takes the spaceship of Galactica on its journey, and Uranus and Neptune. At last the asteroid approaches by 1 position. We move the rotation token by 10 units on the time track. It is again the turn of Imperial, and as planned they sell 5 carbon for 25 space euros, having now 27 in total. They do nothing else and travel to Earth for 6 plus 2 equals 8 time units, and as always we track that on the time track. Galactica on its turn sails on Saturn for uranium for 20 space euros. In order to join the scientist society on Earth, Galactica wants to save an alien off the asteroid. The optimal way is as follows. Travel to the next position of the asteroid, that would consume 4 time units, but then rotation would come after the next turn of Galactica. Luckily, you are allowed to waste some more time and wait 1 unit more, so that Galactica's turn is after rotation. We execute the rotation as always. Like before, we move Earth, all planets, and the asteroid. Next comes the event price adjustments. Here we increase on each planet the demand price by 1 and we decrease the supply price by 1. With 2 players, we move the event by 20 time units. Galactica again. The only possible action on the asteroid is to pick up the alien. Then Galactica travels to Jupiter. Imperial is on Earth, where you can join societies in order to win plutocratic councils. Each society has different requirements. The High Society, for example, requires a player to have 25 space euros. This is the case for Imperial, and they join the High Society. With that, they win 3 plutocratic councillors. From Earth, they travel to Neptune. Now we need to explain the most important event, the election. We check for each planet who holds the majority in the parliament. This player wins 1 plutocratic council. White, Galactica, holds the majority on Mars and Saturn, thus wins 2 plutocratic councillors. And Black, Imperial, holds majority on Uranus, thus wins 1 plutocratic councillor. The event election is moved forward by 25 time units. That are basically the rules of Plutocracy. The game lasts until 75 or 60 time units, depending on player count, and in the end, the player with the most plutocratic councillors wins the game. You can find more information on our webpage or on BoardGameGeek. So long, and thanks for all the fish.